Shri Ganesh Shri Saraswate Namaha Shri Satgurubhyo Namaha Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram Manojavam Marutatulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutamukhyam Sri Ramadutam Sirasa Namami Santoshini Jaganmata Mama Saubhagyavriddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Tvam Prasanna Varada Bhava Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kridau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashandaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Satchitanandarupaya Vishwotpattyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Nilambujasyamala Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charuchapam Namami Ramam Rakubamsanatham Janmatyasya yatonvayati tadachattesya vidya surat Tene brahma hridaya adhigavaye muhyanti tatsuraya Tejo varimృతాం yada vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Tamna svena sada nirastaguhakam satyam param dhimahi Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. So we saw Kartam Rishi's marriage, and after they had 9 girls, and finally, with the blessings of Kartam Rishi, Devahuti gave birth to Bhagavan's own partial avatara, that is Kapila. And now, I told you last time, the 9 girls were married to 9 rishis. Kala was married to Marichi, Anasuya married to Atri, Shraddha to Angiras, Havirbhu to Pulastya, Gati to Pulaha, Kriya to Kratu, Khyati to Bhrigu, Arundhati to Vasishta, Shanti to Atharvana. This is how they were married. Now, once the son is born, the 26th verse, we are on the 3rd skanda, 24th chapter, 26th verse. Sachavatirnam triyugamatnyaya vibhudarshabham vivikta upasangamya pranamya sabhavasha samabhashata. Kardama, knowing that his son was none other than Mahavishnu incarnate, one day approached him in solitude and after making due prostration said as follows: Aho papanjamananam niraye swaramangale kalena bhuyasa nunam prasitandiha devata. Oh, what good fortune it is that the devas are moved to bless even sinners groveling in hell, undergoing the punishment of their misdeeds. Bahujanma vimakvena samyak yoga samadhina drashtum yatante yatayaha shunyagareshu yatpadam. Sayeva bhagavanatya helanam nagadayadaha griheshu jato gramyanam yasvanam pakshaposhanaha. Thou art the one for whose realization yogis resort to a secluded place and practice meditation samadhi for a long period. Now that exalted being has deigned to be born in our unworthy family, without in the least feeling that it is something beneath him. But then he always seeks to enhance the well-being of his devotees. Sviyam vakyamrutam kartam avatirnosi me grihe Chikishvat Bhagavan Jnanam Bhaktanam Manavardhana. In order to fulfill his words and to spread the philosophy of knowledge in this world, the Lord, who is ever intent on promoting the cause of his devotees, have now born in my house. Tanneva Tepirubhani Rubani Bhagavattava Yani Yani cha rochante Sujananam Arubinaha. Although your nature is transcendental, with form, four arms, and other mark is more fitting for you, you have taken human form according to the liking of your devotees. Tvam survittat putyadva sada vivadarhana padapidam aishwarya vairagya shova bodha virya shriya purtamaham prapatye. I seek refuge in thee, whose feet are to be worshipped always by learned men who seek spiritual illumination, men and whom glories like lordliness, detachment, fame, knowledge, prowess, and auspiciousness manifest in their fullness. Param pradhanam purusham mahantam kalam kavim pravritam lokapalam atmanubhutyanugata prapancham swachanda shaktim kapilam prapadye. I seek shelter in the divine manifestation of Kapila, repository of countless powers, regulator of all of the nature of Prakriti and Purusha, manifest as time, Mahatattva and Ahankara, all knowing of the form of the whole universe, the protector of all and pervading all as their self-awareness. Swami prichetya patim prajanam Tvayavatirnana utaptakamaha parivrajat padavimastidoham charishye tvam kriti yunchan vishogaha. I request you, the Master of all, to grant me one favor. By thy birth, I have been freed from the ancestral debt of continuing the family line. I have thus had the satisfaction of having discharged my duty. I therefore desire to take up the life of a sannyasin and wander forth, communing internally with thee in intense joy. Now here, Kartama Rishi is asking his son, who is none other than Bhagavan Vishnu, leave him and take sannyas. Now here there are discussion on this topic. When you have Bhagavan himself with you, why do you want to leave him? Instead of enjoying him, why you want to leave him? So Sridhara Swami is right. Even if you look at Bhagavan as Putra, son, again it is duality. That is why even Dasharatha suffered Putra Shoka. He was so attached to his child as Rama, and he could not live without him. So, but in looking at Bhagavan as somebody different from you, that is not moksha. The real moksha is Bhagavan and you one. That understanding has to come. Only then, in reveling in that Paramatma, one wander about in this world, giving blessing to each and every one. This is what Kartam Rishi wanted. So that is what he get the blessing from Bhagavan. Now Bhagavan's answer also very nice. Maya proptam hi logasya pramanam satyalaugige adhajani maya tubhyam yatavoja mune. In both spiritual and secular matters, my word is the authority. I have fulfilled my promise by being born as your son. Etanme janmalokesmin mumukshunam durashayat prasankhyanaya tattvanam sammatayatmadarshane. The object of this incarnation of mine is to distinguish and enumerate the various categories in order that the truth seekers may be enabled to realize the Atman, distinguishing it from the perishable body-mind combination with which it is confused. Yesha atmapado vivyaktaha nashtakkalena bhuyasa tam pravartayidam dehamimam viddhimaya vratam. This subtle science of the self has fallen into disuse over the course of the ages and is now nearly lost to humanity. I have taken up this body in order to revive it. Gacchakamam maya prishto mai sannyasta karmana jitva sudarjayam mrityum amritatvayamam bhaja. Permitted by me, abandon your home and take up the life of a sannyasi and conquer the hurdle of death by dedicating all action to me and gain immortality by total resignation to me. Mamatmanam swayam jyotih sarvabodha guhashayam atmanyevatmana vikshya vishoka bhayamurchati chasi. As the self-effulgent spirit, I pervade the hearts of all beings. See me within yourself with your purified mind, and you will then be free from sorrow and attain to the fearless state of spiritual freedom. Matra adhyatmikim vidyam shavanim sarmakarmanam vitarishye yata chaso vayam chaditarishyati. So to my mother, I shall be imparting the knowledge of Atman that will completely remove all her doubts. By means of that, she will be able to overcome samsara and attain bliss. Now we're taking leave of his son Kardama Rishi left, and Kalena in time, so freed from the 47th verse, it says, Ichhadvesha vihinena sarvatra samachetasa bhagavat bhakti yuktena prapta bhagavati gati. Freed from attachment and antagonism. Ichhadvesha vihinena sarvatra samachetasa. Seeing the same Atman everywhere and endowed with devotion to the Lord, he attained the state due to those united with him in supreme devotion. He attained mukti. Now, next chapter, Shaunaka. Remember, the whole Bhagavatam starts in Naimisharanya. Shaunaka, the Rishi, is asking question to Sudaji. An answer to Sudaji is answering. And he is quoting conversation between Maitreya Rishi and Vidur Rishi. Vidurji. So this should be remembered because so many characters come suddenly. Now Shaunaka Vacha. Kapilat Tattva Sankhyaata Bhagavan Atmamayaya Jadas Swayamajas Sakshat Atma Pratnyaptaye Dridam. Now here we have to note one, that avatara also there are different kinds. It is not one kind. Called Amshavatara, Aveshavatara, then Purnavatara, then Nityavatara, then Jnanavatara. Like this, there are many kinds of avatars are there. So Kapila Muni's avatara is called Jnana Avatara, to teach the world this Sankhyan philosophy. So Shaunaka is asking, in order to reveal the knowledge of the Atman, the Lord, though in himself birthless, embodied himself by the power of his own Maya as Kapila, the propounder of the doctrine of Sankhya, or the philosophy of the knowledge of Purusha and Prakriti. The Sauraka is asking Sutta Maharshi, whatever that he taught, please narrate to us. So he asking the story. Sutta Vaja, Upayana Sakatvevam Maitreyo Bhagavan Tada Prahetam Viduram Prita Anvikshikyam Prajodita. Sutaji says, being pleased with this request for instruction on the science of the spirit, Maitreya, the friend of Vyasa, said as follows to Viduraji. Now, Maitreya says, Pitariprastiteranyam Madhu Priyachikirshaya Tasmin Bindusare Vatsi Bhagavan Kapilakila Tavasinamakirmanam Tattvamargagradarshanam Susutam Devahutya Dadusvas Samsmarati Vachaha. We have an ashram in Siddhavari in Dharmashala. There, near our ashram, we can visit this Kapila Gufa. That's called Kapila Ashram, where this conversation between Kapila Muni and Devahuti happened. It is still there. People can go and take a pilgrimage there. So, Pitari Prastiteranyam Madhu Prejigirshaya. After father's departure to the forest, Bhagavan Kapila, in order to please his mother, continued to stay for some time in that hermitage on the banks of the Bindu Saras. Tamasinamakarmanam Tattvamargagradarshanam Susutam Devahutya Dadusva Samsmarati Vachaha. During that time, remembering the words of Brahma, Devahuti, the mother of Kapila, said one day to her son, who had renounced all ritualistic karma, has become a teacher of the truth of the science of the spirit. Devahuti Vacha. Now this is very beautiful conversation. Nirvinnanitaram bhuman asat indriya darshana yena sambhavyamanena prapannantam tamaprabho. Nirvinna nitaram. I am extremely tired of what? Nitaram bhuman asat indriya darshana. Gratifying these senses. Why? Because they are never satisfied. It is like scratching your body. More you scratch, more you like to scratch. Yena sambhavyamanena pravannantam tamaprabho. I am seeing that light, that you are that I through whom I can see light of truth. Tasyatam tamasondasya dushparasyadhyaparakam Satchachur janmanamante labdham me tadanugrahad. By the grace, I seem to have reached the end of my cycle of worldly existence, as I have got thee as guide, an excellent eye that can help me penetrate this dark barrier of infatuation. Sahatyo Bhagavan Pumsam Ishvaro Vai Bhavan Kila. lokasya tamasandhasya chakshus surya ivoditaha. You are the Lord and origin of all being, now appeared as the eye of, or the enlightener of the world, which is overcome by the darkness of blinding ignorance. Even as the sun rises in the horizon, driving away the gloom of night. Atame deva sammoham apakrishtum tamarhasi yogagrahoham mameti etasmin yojitat tvaya. Lord, it is proper for you now to remove from me this infatuation caused by the sense of identification with the body, which make me feel I am this body is mine. Now this infatuation, she says, this bondage, you yourself has imposed. You are the one, Yojita Tvaya. You have done this problem. Therefore, tam tvagadaham sharanam sharanyam sabhritya samsara taro kutaram vijnasamayaham jijnasayaham prakrite purushasya namami saddharma vidam varishtam. I seek shelter in thee, a fitting master for those who want shelter, because you are the veritable axe that cuts the tree of samsara for thy devotees. Jijnasayaham prakrite purushasya namami saddharma vidam varishtam. You are the axe to cut the tree of samsara of your devotees. Now Maitreya says, idis swamatur niravatyamipsidam nishamya pumsam apavargavardhanam dhiyabhinadyatmavadam satam kadir babasha ishasmita shobhitanana. And Maitreya says, Maitraishi says, hearing the words of his mother, so meaningful and calculated to stimulate interest in the path of moksha, Kapila, the sole refuge of all spiritual seekers, his face beaming with a smile that approved fully of her words. Now from here onwards called Kapilopadesha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Yoga Adhyatmika Pumsam Mato Nishreyasaya me Atyanto Paratir Yatra Dukhasya cha Sukhasya cha. Kamilamuni says, I shall expound to you that path of spiritual realization which leads to the ultimate good of man. Shreyas, Nishreyasaya me, ultimate good, wherein there is complete and irreversible abeyance of the pleasures and pain of worldly existence. Atyanta uparatir yatra dukkhasya cha sukhasya cha. Complete, all free, completely free from dukkham and sukham, both, beyond both. Tamimam te pravakshyami yamabhojam puranake Rishinam shotu kamanam yogam sarvanga naipunam. This yoga which I preached in ancient days to the rishis who are eager to hear it, the same yoga, perfect in all limbs, I shall teach you now, O pure-minded lady. Chetak khalvasya bandhaya muktaye chatmano matam guneshu saktam bandhaya ratam va pumsi muktaye. So here is the main teaching starts. Chetaha khalu asya bandhaya muktaye cha atmanaha matam. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. This is the meaning here. Chetaha. It is the view of wise men that the mind indeed is the cause of both the bondage and liberation for all embodied beings. If the mind is attached to the gunas of Prakriti and their products, it leads to bondage. But when it begins to feel delight and attraction for the Lord, it leads to liberation. Guneshu saktam bandhaya ratam va pumsi muktaye. So the whole key is what? Mind is the key. One side it turned, it get lost. Another side, the same key turned, it unlocks. So mind serves like a key. It gets attached to the senses, sense pleasures, object of senses. It gets bound. The same mind turned towards the Lord, it gets unlocked. Aham mama bhimanothyaihi kamalobhadi virmaleihi Vetam yata manashuddham dukkham asukham samam. When the mind is freed from impurities of lust and greed generated by the sense of I and mine, it attains to purity and rest in equanimity, being unaffected by pleasure and pain. Tada purusha atmanam kevalam prakrite param nirantaram swayam jyodihi animanamakhanditam. Jnana vairagya yuktena bhakti yuktena jatmana paripashyatyudasinam prakritim jahatojasam. So our mind becomes impure when desire, greed, etc. rising from aham and mamakara. Because all these we want is for this body only. So sense of I-ness and minus alone, all the bondage rises in the mind. So when the mind becomes neutral, only then Ishvara Sakshatkar is possible. It is something like neutralization means what? If you want to take your weight, you stand on the weighing machine. But before weighing, what is to be done? You have to zero it. You have to neutral. To put into neutral, isn't it? Then only you can take your weight. Same way, mind also should be made to a neutral state. Means what? Free from ragatvesha. Nayujyamanaya bhaktya bhagavat akilatmani satishosti shivapantha yoginam brahma siddhaye. Now Bhagavan is telling, for one aspiring to attain Brahman, there is no path more straight than, or straight, safe, and practical than that of loving devotion for the Supreme Lord, who is the soul of all. Prasangamajaram pasam atmanakavayo viduho sayeva sadhushu kritaha mokshadvaramapavritam. Now the problem is, here very beautifully said, Bhagavan, mind cannot remain without getting attached to something or other. It has always to hold on to something. If the mind is not attached to parents or family members or your wife and children, then what happened? You can see now in this country, they get attached to dog, cat, etc. Why? Because the mind cannot stay without getting attached to something. So what is the solution? That is what Bhagavan is telling. Prasangam acharam pasam atmanak kavayo viduhu. The wise say that intense attachment to the object of the world is the cause of bondage for the soul. But without attachment, mind cannot stay. So what is the solution? The same attachment, if directed towards Mahatmas, open the gate of liberation. Now, you say attached to Mahatma. Who is a Mahatma? That also we should know. Because there are so many fake Mahatmas are there. If you get attached to them, they will get attached to you. Isn't it? It will be a problem. So we should know who. Now Bhagavan gave Lakshana of a Mahatma also. Who is the sadhu? Titikshavah karunigaha sugradas sarvadehinam ajada shatravasyantaha sadhavas sadhu bhushanaha. A holy man is one who is titikshavaha, patient in all circumstances. Karunigaha, who is full of compassion. Karunikaha. Suhradaha, friendly to all. Who is the friend of all? And Ajada Shatravaha. He is not inimical to anyone. Shantaha, who is overflowing with peace. And Sat, Shantaha, Sadhava Sadhu Bhushanaha. Such qualities are there. They are ornament of all sadhus. Mai ananya bhavena, mai ananyena bhavena, bhaktim kurvanti ye dridham, matkrite tyakta karmanya, tyakta svajana bandhava. Who has deep-rooted love for me, mai ananyena bhavena bhakti. Kurvanti ye dridha. Dridha bhakti. deep-rooted bhakti towards the Lord. Makrite tekta karmanam tekta sujana bandhavaha. For my sake, he works, and if necessary, he gave up all dependence on relatives, preferring to depend solely on me. Completely depend upon Bhagavan, nobody else in the world. Madashraya katha mrishta shunnvanti kadayanti cha tapanti vivitastapa naitan madgata chetasa. He always hears and speaks on my sanctifying deeds and excellences, his mind being fully given over to me. No affliction ever affects or trouble him. Now, who is a sadhu? Satnodi parakaryam satnodi sadhu. He who can accept an individual as he is and love him for what he is called sadhu purusha. Parakaryam satnodi means he who accomplishes others' work. He put other people's interest before him. Such a person is called sadhu purusha. Madashraya katha mrishta shrunanti kathayanti cha. He always hears and speaks of my sanctifying deeds and excellences, his mind being fully given over to me. No affliction ever affects him or trouble him. Tayete sadhavas sattvi sarvasanga vivarjidaha sangatve prarthya sangadosha harahite. Such person who are without attachment to anything except me are real sadhus. It is desirable to seek their company, O noble lady, because they are the veritable destroyer of all worldly attachment. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hirkarna rasayana katha tajjosha padasya pavarga vartmani Shraddhayatar bhaktiranukramishyati. In the intimate company of such holy men, you will hear accounts of my glorious deeds, which form a veritable ambrosia to the ear and the heart. By drinking this nectar, you will soon develop one after the another faith, Shraddha, in the path of devotion, delight in God, and deep love for him, bhakti. Bhaktya pumanjada viraga aindriyat drishtashudan madra janaru chindaya chittasya yatto grahane yoga yukta edishyate rijubir yoga margai. By the power of devotion, consisting in the constant remembrance of my excellences, manifested through my creative and sporting activities, man gained detachment from all worldly objects, becomes enthusiastic in spiritual practice, and strive to adhere to the bhakti discipline, which are natural and therefore easy to practice. Asevayayam prakrite gunanam Jnanena vairagyavrisyam videna yogena mayyarpitaya pachavaktya mam pratyagatmana mihavarunte. My avoidance of overintelligence, by knowledge augmented by renunciation, and by communion with me through loving devotion, man can attain to me, the indwelling spirit in all, even in this life itself. Iha avarunde, pratyaga atmanam iha arunde. Here itself we can attain mukti. Now Devahuti is asking a question. Kachit tuyuchita bhakti kidrishe bhavachochara gochara yayapadam te narvanam anjasanvasnavaham yo yogo bhagavatvano nirvanat tattvayodidaha kidrisha kadichangani yadattatvavabodhanam tate tanme vijanihi yadaham mandadirhare Sukham buddhe yadurbodham yosha pavadanugrahad. Devahuti is asking, what is the nature of this true devotion? What is the type of devotional practice suited to me, which will enable me to attain to the state of nirvana with ease? That yoga which you have preached, with what description is it and what constitute its auxiliaries? Please explain to me this difficult yoga in a way that even I, the dull-witted woman, may easily grasp. She is not dull-witted, but she considered this. Now, Bhagavan is giving please teach me that devotion of yoga. In short, please elaborate. That is the point. Maitreyi says, viditvartham kapilo madhurittam jadasneho yatra tan vibhajita tattvabrayam yat prayanti sankhyam provajave bhakti vidayinogam. Sankhya Yoga, after listening to his mother, planning mother's desire and prompted by love for her, who gave birth to his body, Kabira revealed the principle of the philosophy of Sankhya and also Bhakti. So Bhakti and Sankhya. Sankhya means Upanishad. That knowledge lead one to one's own Atma is called Sankhya. Now the whole teaching is given with love. So here it is, mother's love. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Devanam Gunalinganam Anushyaviga Karmanam Sattva Evaika Manaso Vritti Swabhaviki Tuya. When all the powers of man's senses, which are ordinarily frittered away through external contacts, are purified through devotional practices and dedicated action, and they get naturally focused on Ishvara exclusively. without any self-centered motivation, and with a firmness which no obstruction can overpower. That state of mind is called bhakti, or the highest form of devotion for the Lord. Such devotion is superior even to mukti. It burns up the covering of ignorance in a person, just as fire burns up object put into it. Animitta bhagavati bhakti siddher gariyasi jarayatyaashya kosham nigirna manalo yatha. Now, Bhagavan says, Naigatmadam me sprakayanti kejin matpavasevabhiratamadhiha yenyoonyato bhagavata prasancha sabhajayante mama paurushani. Some endowed with such bhakti do not aspire for moksha or even oneness with my being, for their delight consists in serving me and in working out my will. They therefore congregate together and honor me by adoration and participation in my works, leelas. Pashyanti te me ruchiranyam vasanta prasannavaktrarulojanani rupani divyani varapradhani sakam vajam sprahaniyam vadanti. Such holy persons engage themselves in loving conversation with my enthralling spiritual emanation, who possesses beaming countenances and lotus-like eyes and have the power to grant all that the devotee may want. Tairdashaniya vaya vairudhara vilasa hasekshita vamasukhtaihi hridatmano hridapranam cha bhakte anichchato me yadimanmi prayunkte. Though their minds are thus captivated by and absorbed in my enchanting formful aspect with its charming and sublime features, movement, smile, looks, and speech, their devotion leads them in the end to the liberation mukti, though they themselves do not care for it. They're all Bhakta Lakshana. To such people, mukti comes to them even without their wanting it. All siddhis come to them automatically. Adho vibodhim mama maya vinasta aishwaryamashtangamanupravrittam sriyam bhagavatim vaspruhanti vadram parasya me te shruvade duloke nagarhi chinmat parashantarupe nakshanti no meni visho ledihetihi yeshamaham priya atma sudascha Sakha Guru Suhurdo Daivamishtam. In my supreme abode, Vaikuntha, they become the inheritors of the divine powers and bliss that reside in me, in spite of their having no longing for any of this, the eightfold powers, Ashtada, what do you call that? Yes. Ashtasiddhi. So those Ashtasiddhi will come to them automatically. Those devotees who consider me their nearest and the dearest, their soul, son, companion, teacher, friend, and chosen deity, remain deathless in that abode of peace. My weapon of universal destruction has no sway over them. Imam lokam tathaivamu atmanam upayayinam atmanam anuye chehayeraya pashavo grihaha visatya sarvananyakcha mamevam vishwato mukham bhajandyanandaya bhaktya tan mrityoradipareye. Devotees who give up desire for this world and the next world, for the subtle body that links one's life in these two spheres, as well as for the physical body, which is associated with wealth, relatives, home, love and serving, the all-pervading being, with unswerving devotion, are surely released by me from involvement in the cycle of birth and death. Matbhayatyati vatoyam suryastabati matbhayat varshadindro dahatyagni murtyucharati matbhayat. For out of fear of me, all nature moves. The wind blows, the sun shines, Indra reigns, rains, fire burns, and death consumes all. The same Upanishad Vakya is Vishat Ve Vadapavate Vishadedi Suryaha Vishad Agnischa Indrascha Mrityurdhavati Panchapaiti. Same Upanishad Vakya Bhagavan gives here. The 44th verse, Etavaneva lokesmin pumsam nishreyasodaya trivena bhakti yogena manomayarpitam sthiram. Man attains to the highest he can in life when he gains one-pointed and unswerving devotion to me, and when his mind becomes unperturbed by anything because of this total self-surrender to me. So with that chapter is over. Now Bhagavan gives him the Sankhya Yoga, that is Prakriti and Purusha. There are two Sankhyas. One is called Nirishwara Sankhya, Saishwara Sankhya. Both authors are called Kapila. Unfortunately, you cannot make sure who is who. So this Kapila, who is given in Bhagavatam, is Saishwara Sankhya. They believe in the existence of Ishvara. The other Sankhya doesn't believe in the Ishvara. They are Nastikas. They are not Astikas. Now what is that? The 24 tattvas. These are all we have studied. So we have studied in Tattvabodha and all that. So same topic will come. So Prakriti, Purusha. Little more details are there. Mahat Tattva, Hiranyagarbha. All those details are there. We will see that in our next class. He gives also how to get out of it, You should first he describe all those evolution of Prakriti, its vastness, then how to get out of it. Okay, we stop here today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Thank you, Swami.